When most people think about retirement, they picture their spending as a straight line. You stop working, you start drawing from Social Security, pensions, or other investments. You set a budget, and then year after year, that budget stays the same. But here's the truth. Retirement spending almost never looks that way. In reality, it follows a curve that financial researchers call the retirement smile. Here's what it looks like. At 65, you are full of energy. You finally have freedom that you worked for. You were traveling, buying that RV, taking cruises, golfing, visiting the grandkids, maybe even tackling your bucket list that you put off for decades. This is the high spending stage. Then, as you move towards your late 70s and early 80s, life naturally slows down. You're not flying overseas as often. You're not making as many big ticket purchases. You are content with simpler routines, and your spending actually drops. But here's the kicker. In your late 80s and 90s, spending rises again. Not for vacations this time, but for healthcare, support, and long-term care. That's the second upward curve of the smile. And if you're planning as if your expenses will stay flat, you could end up in big trouble. You might overspend in the beginning and run short later, or underspend and miss out on your healthiest, most vibrant years. That's why understanding the retirement smile is so important. It is not just about the money. It is about matching your resources to the way that life really unfolds. Hi, I'm Mark Wisniewski, the president of Southern Incomes. For over 20 years, I've helped pre-retirees and retirees turn their savings into income strategies that last. And one of the most overlooked truths I've seen is this: your spending in retirement changes dramatically over time. So in this video, I'll walk you through what the retirement smile is and why it matters, the three distinct phases of spending after 65, how to plan your income around those shifts, and why even high net worth families need to account for this curve. If you find this helpful, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and if you'd like help designing a retirement income plan that works with your life's curve, not just averages, book a time with me using the link in the description. Part 1. What exactly is the retirement smile? The retirement smile is a simple but powerful concept. Instead of your spending staying level from 65 to 95, it goes through three phases. Number 1, higher spending in your early years, the go-go years. 2, lower spending in mid-retirement, the slow-go years. 3, higher spending again later in your no-go years. That's driven by healthcare and long-term care needs. Putting those stages together, and the curve looks like a U-shape or a smile. Part 2, why flat budgets get it wrong. The problem is most retirement plans assume a flat expense line that rises gently with inflation. That's not realistic. Flatline planning creates two risks: overspending early. If you assume today's higher lifestyle costs will continue unchanged, you risk drawing too much from your account in your 60s and 70s, leaving less for later. Underspending early. On the flip side, many retirees are overly cautious. They hold back during their healthiest years, afraid of running out. They deny themselves trips, experiences, and opportunities only to realize later they could have afforded them. Recognizing the retirement smile means giving yourself permission to spend more when you'll enjoy it, and the discipline to prepare for the higher costs at the end. Part 3, the three phases of the smile. Phase 1, the go-go years. That's age 65 to 75. This is the active stage. Health is good, energy is high, and retirees often spend more than they expected. Travel is big here: cruises, road trips, international vacations. Hobbies cost money: golf memberships, home renovations, boats, or new hobbies that you always wanted to try. Family support often happens here, helping adult children or funding grandkids' college or hosting big family gatherings. For example, a couple retiring at 65 with $2 million might comfortably spend $120,000 a year on this phase. It's intentional. They're making memories while they can. Phase 2, the slow go years, 75 to 85. By this stage, things start to slow down. International trips become fewer, replaced by smaller vacations or local outings. Eating out less often, fewer major purchases. Many find themselves spending 10 to 20% less naturally, but because lifestyle changes. For example, that same couple may find their annual expenses fall to around $90,000, and they're not forced to cut back. They are just living differently. Phase 3, the no-go years, age 85 to 95 and beyond. Finally, spending picks back up again, but now it's for different reasons. Out-of-pocket health care costs, they start to rise. Assisted living, nursing homes, and in-home care, they could run $50,000 to $100,000 a year, or even more depending on where you live. Even smaller things, transportation, daily help, home modifications, they all add up. For example, our couple's expenses may climb back to $110,000 or even more, but instead of cruises, it is healthcare bills and support services driving those numbers. The smile curve explains why a flat line budget simply doesn't work. Retirement is not one long stage, it is three distinct ones. Part 4, how to plan your income around the smile. So, how do you actually plan for this? 1. Front load discretionary spending. Allow yourself to enjoy more in your 60s and early 70s. Build it right into your plan so that you can live life freely without guilt. 2. Maintain flexibility. Don't tie all your money into rigid income streams. Use a mix of guaranteed income, your Social Security, pensions, possibly annuities, plus flexible withdrawals. 3. Plan for health care. Set aside resources or insurance solutions late life rise. Too many retirees are blindsided by care costs in their 80s going into their 90s. 4. Stress test your plan. Model a scenario where spending dips, then rises again. See how your portfolio holds up. If healthcare costs spike or inflation lasts longer than you expected. 5. Review regularly. A plan at 65 might not be right at 75. Inflation shifts, health changes, taxes evolve. Your retirement plan should adjust as your life does. Part 5, why high net worth families still need the smile. If you saved millions and millions of dollars, you might be thinking, this doesn't apply to me. I'll never run out. But the smile still matters. In your go-go years, higher spending might mean bigger charitable gifts, buying a second home, or funding major family experiences. In the no-go years, premium care options, private nurses, or estate-related expenses, they can eat in your wealth quickly. Failing to plan for these shifts doesn't necessarily mean you'll run out of money. It does mean inefficient withdrawals, higher taxes, and leaving less of a legacy. Aligning your income and tax strategy with the smile curve allows you to maximize enjoyment early and still protect your estate later on. Let me leave you with a picture. Two couples retire at 65, both with $2 million. The first couple assumes flat spending. They either overspend in the early years, risk shortages later on, or underspend, living too frugally out of fear. And by their late 70s, they regret not doing more when they had the health to enjoy it. The second couple plans for the retirement smile. They spend more freely in their go-go years, knowing it's built into their plan. In their 80s, their spending naturally dips, easing the pressure. And by their 90s, They're already allocated resources for medical and long-term care. The difference? One couple retires with stress and regret. The other retires with confidence and fulfillment. Here's the truth. Retirement spending does not stay flat. It bends, it shifts, it follows that smile-shaped curve. If you plan for a straight line, you'll either overspend and risk stress or underspend and miss out. But if you plan for the smile, you'll give yourself both freedom and security. Freedom to enjoy your healthiest years and security to handle the costs that come later on. If you'd like help designing a retirement income plan that matches your life's curve, not just averages, book a call with me using a link in the description.